The ability to do work, energy. Energy is what powers movement and change in everything around us. Imagine you're trying to push a heavy shopping cart up a steep hill at the grocery store. Just like you need strength and effort to move the cart against gravity, energy in science is the capability required to perform tasks or cause change. The effort you put into pushing the cart is akin to energy, as both are necessary to overcome resistance and accomplish work, whether it's moving a cart or powering a machine. The energy of a moving object, kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy an object has because of its motion. Imagine you're trying to push a heavy shopping cart that's already in motion. Just like how the moving cart requires less effort to keep rolling than to start from rest, an object in motion possesses kinetic energy, which is the energy due to its movement. In this analogy, the initial push you give to the cart represents the force needed to overcome inertia, while the cart's continued motion is akin to the kinetic energy that keeps an object moving once it has already started. The energy an object has from its position or condition, like a ball on a hill or a stretched spring. Potential energy is stored energy in an object due to its position or state. Imagine you're holding a grocery bag at the top of a staircase, debating whether to carry it down or leave it for later. This decision is similar to the concept of potential energy, because just as the bag has potential to move down the stairs, objects have energy stored due to their position or condition. In this case, the grocery bag is like a ball on a hill. Both have energy ready to be released due to their elevated positions, and choosing when to release that energy, whether by carrying the bag down or letting the ball roll, is up to you. The force that opposes motion between two surfaces that are touching. Friction is the resistance you feel when you slide one object over another. Imagine trying to walk across a floor covered in scattered marbles. Just as those marbles make it difficult for you to move forward smoothly, friction opposes the movement between two surfaces in contact. In this analogy, your feet are like one surface. The marbles represent the roughness of the other surface, and your struggle to move mirrors how friction resists the motion, highlighting the challenge of overcoming opposition to achieve movement. A material that releases energy when burned, like wood, coal, or oil. Fuel. Fuel is a substance that provides energy when it undergoes a chemical reaction, such as burning. Imagine you're trying to start a campfire with damp wood, and it takes forever to catch fire and produce heat. This situation is similar to how certain materials, like dry wood, coal, or oil, are much more efficient energy sources because they have a higher ability to release energy when ignited. Just like how dry wood is easier to burn and provides more warmth, fuels like coal or oil are rich in energy content, making them effective at releasing energy quickly and efficiently when burned. A repeating disturbance that transfers energy through matter or space. Wave. In simple terms, a wave is a way energy moves from one place to another, like how ocean waves travel across the sea. Imagine trying to pass a message across a crowded room without moving from your spot. Just as you would need to rely on a series of people repeating your message until it reaches the intended recipient, a wave transfers energy through a medium by passing it along from one particle to the next. In this analogy, each person represents a particle in the medium. The message is the energy, and the act of passing the message along is akin to the disturbance that travels through the medium, illustrating how waves transfer energy across distances. The thermal energy transferred from a warmer object to a cooler object. Heat. Heat is the energy that moves from something hot to something cold. Imagine you're at a party. and you notice that the most talkative person in the room tends to pass their energy and excitement to a quieter person, making the quieter person more lively. This situation is similar to how thermal energy is transferred from a warmer object to a cooler one, where the warmer object shares its energy with the cooler object until both reach a similar energy level. Just like how the talkative person's energy spreads to uplift the quieter one, thermal energy moves from the warmer object to the cooler object, creating a balance in energy levels between them. How hot or cold something is, it is determined by the kinetic energy of its particles. Temperature. Temperature is a measure of how fast the particles in a substance are moving. Imagine you're at a party, and you notice how lively or dull it feels depends on how much people are moving around. Similarly, the temperature of an object is determined by how energetically its particles are moving. Just like a high energy party feels warmer with people dancing and talking, an object is hotter when its particles are moving rapidly, while a cooler party, where people are standing still and quiet, mirrors the slow movement of particles in a colder object. A material or an energy source in the environment, like trees, water, or wind, is called a natural resource. Natural resources are materials or energy we find in nature that humans use for survival and development. Imagine you are trying to find a reliable Wi Fi signal in a crowded cafe. Just like a strong Wi Fi signal provides the connectivity needed to browse the internet, natural resources such as trees, water, and wind provide the essential materials and energy needed for our daily lives. In both cases, identifying and utilizing these resources optimally allows us to stay connected and function efficiently, whether it's staying online or supporting life and development. A resource that is replaced by nature more quickly than it is consumed is a renewable resource. In simple terms, a renewable resource is something like sunlight or wind that we can use repeatedly because nature keeps making more of it. Imagine you have a smartphone that charges faster than you can use up the battery. This scenario is similar to renewable resources, which are replenished by nature more quickly than we can consume them. Just as your phone stays powered because the charger replenishes battery life faster than your usage drains it, renewable resources like solar or wind energy are naturally replenished at a rate that exceeds our consumption, ensuring a sustainable supply. A natural resource that is consumed faster than it can be created is called a non renewable resource. In simple terms, non renewable resources like coal and oil can't be replaced quickly once they're used up. Imagine you're at a party with a limited number of snacks, and everyone is eating them faster than they can be replenished. This situation is similar to how non renewable resources work. They are used up at a pace faster than nature can produce them. Just like how the snacks will eventually run out because they're being consumed faster than they can be restocked, non renewable resources like coal, oil, and natural gas deplete quickly because we use them faster than they naturally form. An energy source made of the remains of organisms that lived long ago, like coal or oil. Fossil fuel is a natural fuel formed from the remains of ancient plants and animals buried over millions of years. Imagine cleaning out your refrigerator and finding ingredients that have been sitting there for a long time, like leftover vegetables that have slowly turned into compost. This situation is similar to how fossil fuels are formed, where the remains of plants and animals from millions of years ago have transformed into energy sources like coal or oil. Just as those forgotten vegetables have decomposed and changed over time into something new, the ancient organic matter has undergone a natural process, turning into fossil fuels that we use today for energy. heat energy released from within the Earth. Geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is the natural heat that comes from the Earth's interior, which we can use to generate electricity or heat buildings. Imagine you're trying to find warmth on a chilly day by seeking out a sunlit spot in your house. Just like how the sunlight streaming through your window provides warmth from an external source, geothermal energy is like tapping into the Earth's internal sun for heat. In this analogy, the Earth's core acts as the sun, radiating heat outward, and geothermal plants are like the windows that capture and harness this natural warmth to provide energy for us to use. The splitting of an atomic nucleus into smaller nuclei and neutrons, this releases energy. Nuclear fission is a process where a heavy nucleus breaks apart to release lots of energy. Imagine trying to untangle a tightly knotted ball of yarn that's been sitting in your drawer for years. Just like when you finally pull apart that stubborn knot, releasing a cascade of smaller, more manageable strands of yarn, nuclear fission involves splitting a tightly bound atomic nucleus into smaller nuclei and neutrons. The energy released when the knot is untangled, allowing the yarn to flow freely, is like the energy released during nuclear fission when the nucleus splits, freeing up energy that was previously trapped in that tight configuration. The combining of two nuclei to form a single nucleus, this releases energy. Nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion is a process where two light atomic nuclei merge to form a heavier nucleus, releasing a large amount of energy, like in the sun. Imagine trying to combine two small balls of dough to make one larger, more robust ball for baking. This is similar to nuclear fusion, where two small atomic nuclei merge to form a single, larger nucleus. Just as combining dough balls can create a larger, more useful piece of dough for your baking needs, when two atomic nuclei combine, they release energy, providing a more stable nucleus, much like creating a perfect dough ball ready for baking. The careful management and use of resources. Conservation. Conservation in science is about protecting and preserving natural resources to ensure they are available for future generations. Imagine you're trying to make your monthly salary last until the next paycheck. Managing your budget wisely to ensure you have enough for rent, food, and leisure activities is similar to the concept of the careful management and use of resources in conservation. Just as you allocate your paycheck to cover all expenses without running out of money, conservation involves allocating natural resources in a way that ensures their availability for the future, balancing current needs with sustainable use. Recovering useful material from waste for reuse. Recycling. Recycling is the process of converting waste into reusable materials to conserve resources and reduce pollution. Imagine you're cleaning out your closet and you find clothes you haven't worn in years. Just like deciding which clothes can be repurposed into something new, recycling involves sorting through waste to find materials that can be reused. In both scenarios, you're identifying items that still have value, whether it's a shirt that can be turned into a cleaning rag or a plastic bottle that can be transformed into a new product. A mixture of gasoline and alcohol that is used as a fuel. Gasohol is a blend of gasoline and ethanol used to power vehicles. Imagine trying to quench your thirst with a drink that's both refreshing and energizing, like mixing water with a splash of juice for flavor. Gasohol is similar in that it's a blend designed to enhance the performance of something else. In this case, fuel. Just as the juice adds flavor and a slight energy boost to water, the alcohol in gasohol increases the octane level and helps the gasoline burn more efficiently, providing a more balanced and effective fuel for vehicles. The percentage of energy input that a machine converts to work output. Efficiency. Efficiency is a measure of how well energy is converted into useful work by a machine or process. Imagine you're trying to fill a leaky bucket with water, but no matter how much water you pour in, only a portion stays inside while the rest spills out. This is similar to how a machine converts energy input into work output, where only a certain percentage of the energy is efficiently used while the rest is lost, often as heat or sound. Just as the leaky bucket only holds on to some of the water you add, a machine only converts a portion of the energy it receives into useful work, highlighting the concept of efficiency as the percentage of energy input that is successfully transformed into work output. Organic matter or animal waste that can be burned for energy. Biomass. Biomass is material from plants and animals that can be used as a renewable energy source. Imagine trying to figure out how much food is in your fridge without opening it. Just as you estimate the total amount of groceries by considering the weight and volume of each food item you've put in there over time, biomass measures the total mass of all living matter in a specific area. In this analogy, each food item represents an individual organism, and your fridge is the given area. Together, they combine to give you an overall sense of fullness or total mass, just like biomass does in an ecosystem. A fossil fuel made of decayed plant material, coal. It is a black or brownish black rock that is burned to produce energy. Imagine trying to clean out an old attic filled with items that have accumulated dust and cobwebs over decades. Just like the attic holds objects from the past that have slowly transformed from their original state, coal is formed from ancient plant material that has decayed and compressed over millions of years. In this analogy, the dusty items represent the decayed plants. The attic is like the Earth's layers where coal forms, and the dust and cobwebs signify the transformation process that turns simple plant matter into a dense, energy-rich fossil fuel. Electricity generated from flowing water. Hydroelectric energy. It's a method of producing electricity using the movement of water, typically through dams, to turn turbines. Imagine you're trying to fill a bucket with water from a flowing stream, but the bucket has a small hole at the bottom. Just like you use the water flowing into the bucket to maintain a steady level despite the leak, hydroelectric energy uses the flow of water to generate a continuous supply of electricity. In both cases, the key is harnessing the movement of water, in the stream to keep your bucket full, and in a river to spin turbines that produce electricity, transforming a natural flow into a useful resource. A fossil fuel often found in underground rock layers. Natural gas. Natural gas is a flammable gas mixture primarily made up of methane used as an energy source. Imagine you're trying to get the last bit of toothpaste out of a nearly empty tube. Just like squeezing that tube to extract the remaining toothpaste, extracting natural gas involves accessing and releasing the fuel trapped within the layers of underground rock. The rock layers act like the walls of the toothpaste tube, holding the natural gas, while the extraction process is akin to the squeezing action needed to access what's inside. The energy released when the nuclei of atoms are split or combined. Nuclear energy. It is the powerful energy generated in the core of an atom when tiny particles are split apart or fused together. Imagine trying to open a tightly sealed jar of pickles. When you finally succeed, there's a sudden release of pressure. Similarly, nuclear energy involves the release of energy when the nuclei of atoms are split, like opening the jar, or combined. Just as the pressure buildup in the jar is released and can knock the lid off with force, the energy stored in atomic nuclei is unleashed when they're split apart or fused together, powering everything from electricity plants to the sun itself. The energy from sunlight, solar energy. Solar energy is power obtained by harnessing the sun's light and heat. Imagine you're trying to keep your phone charged throughout the day without access to an outlet. This challenge is similar to how we harness solar energy, finding ways to capture and utilize available resources efficiently. Just as you might use a portable battery pack to store energy and charge your phone later, solar panels capture sunlight and convert it into electricity that can be stored for use when needed, ensuring you have a reliable energy source even when the sun isn't shining. A black liquid fossil fuel that is non-renewable. Petroleum. It is a natural substance formed from ancient microorganisms that is used to produce energy and various products. Imagine you have a favorite chocolate cake that you can only enjoy once because there's just one slice left. Similarly, petroleum is like that last slice of cake. It's a finite resource that we've been consuming over millions of years. Just as you can't bake another cake without more ingredients, we can't renew petroleum once it's used up, highlighting its non-renewable nature and preciousness. A material that slows the transfer of heat energy. Insulation. It keeps heat inside during winter and outside during summer, acting like a thermal barrier. Imagine you're trying to keep a secret from spreading at a family gathering. Just like keeping that secret requires whispering to only a few trusted people to prevent it from rapidly spreading, insulation works to slow down the transfer of heat energy from one side to the other. In this analogy, the secret is the heat energy, the trusted individuals are the insulating material, and the family gathering is the environment. Just as the secret stays contained with the trusted individuals, the heat energy remains contained within the insulated area, preventing it from spreading too quickly. The energy of the moving particles in an object. Thermal energy. Thermal energy is the heat generated by the movement of tiny particles within a substance. Imagine you've been stuck in a crowded elevator with several people, each person shifting and fidgeting as the elevator moves. Just like those people moving around, thermal energy is the energy from the movement of particles within an object. The more the people, particles, are moving around due to agitation, heat, the more energy, thermal energy, the entire group object possesses, illustrating how increased movement leads to increased thermal energy.